Transport for Wales train is pulling in there. Good morning, I'm at Carmarthen station in South Wales. It is a Saturday, a summer Saturday, and it is a nice day. This started out as a request stop video. There's 5 request stops that I want to ride on the line between here, Carmarthen, going down to Pembroke Dock. But on a Saturday, did you know GWR run a summer special Saturday train once, sort of twice only. It's a special train, as we'll see, and a line that is normally served by little 2 or 3 car Transport for Wales trains suddenly gets served by a big green GWR IET train. This is the story of the Pembroke Coast Express. So I'm going to ride on the Pembroke Coast Express. That's a service that only runs once a week on summer Saturdays. In the timetable, that usually means from around the middle of May until the middle of September. Because whereas normally GWR trains would terminate at Carmarthen, on a Saturday the service is extended and a train that's come from Paddington continues on down the single track branch line, calling at small request stop stations and goes to Pembroke Dock. This service actually started back in 1953 as a daily steam-hauled service, but over the years it became a weekly summer Saturday train only, and has been operated by many different locomotive types, including even a classic HST, leading to the unusual sight of an intercity train at Pembroke Dock Station. Pembrokeshire in South Wales is a popular summer destination, which is why this service runs. There's stunning scenery along the Pembrokeshire Coast National Park, as well as popular towns to visit, such as Saundersfoot and Tenby, which I'll be getting out at as well. But my first stop was to alight at Kilgetty and plan where to pick up the GWR Saturday-only train. Alright, it is so sunny today, I'm taking shelter, literally inside the waiting shelter on the platform at Kilgetty Station, which you'll see on my map. So my map here shows the 5 request stops on the branch down to Pembroke Dock. There's Narberth, Kilgetty, Saundersfoot, Penally and Lamphey, which you all normally have to request. But because I want to get on the GWR train at one of these request stops, I've come to Kilgetty first, because then it's about a half an hour walk to get down the road to Saundersfoot, where I've plenty of time to wait there for the train to arrive. And to answer some of the questions that I have, earlier on in the week I caught up with GWR's Managing Director to ask about this special summer Saturday train.
It is quite unusual, and we have had it over the years. I mean, the Newquay trains now run fast with the Mid Cornwall enhancements, but we used to have occasionally request stops on the Newquay branch. I think many years ago, when the Caledonian Sleeper formed part of the standard ScotRail service pattern, you used to be able to flag that down at a request stop as well. But yeah, it's an interesting little idiosyncrasy of the UK railway network, and of course generally we're seeing less request stops because as the railway gets busier and busier, some of these stops need to be used every day, and then we take the request element away.
And welcome to Saundersfoot. It's very quiet here. The train is on the board. It is on time. It is running. I've checked open train times. It left Paddington this morning. It would have got to Swansea and done a little reverse, and then Carmarthen and done a little reverse, and it's making its way down. Interestingly, you should note that on the way down, it doesn't stop at Narberth and Penally and Lamphey, but it does on the way back. So I'm trying to basically do as many of the request stops as I can on a GWR train rather than just a little Diddy Transport for Wales train. And that's the fun thing, isn't it, is that many of these stations along this branch have small, short platforms only suitable for a 2 or 3 car train. Although I think here, back there's a board saying 4 car stop. Fairly sure that some of the other platforms further down the line, but that's the joy of this train. This summer Saturday special train is at a branch which normally only sees 2 and 3 car trains, gets this IET instead as a summer holiday maker special. It's going to be glorious. It's going to be glorious when it pours in about 40 minutes time. So I'm just going to chill out here on the platforms of Saundersfoot. Now, I can also recall other previous destinations around the country getting special summer services in the past. For example, there used to be a direct London to Scarborough train. Skegness was once served by HST trains as well, and I'm pretty sure there was a London to Great Yarmouth train via Norwich at one point. And I seem to recall both Cross Country and GWR have run special summer services down to Weymouth in the past as well. But I asked Mark about those HST services.
I mean, they were loco-haul trains through the 70s and very early 80s, converted to high-speed train operation through the 80s. And the train ran, it did have a break in COVID. Sadly, it wasn't run through the summer then. But yeah, it's had a slot in the timetable. It's always been accepted. And of course, it brings added capacity. And I think that's, we agree with Transport for Wales how that's going. to work in each timetable. But there are a lot of people take their holidays in West Wales. It's probably not as well known perhaps as the sort of classic Devon and Cornwall holidaymaker trains, but people enjoy their time there, and we need to bring that capacity onto the route on summer Saturdays.
And at just after 1:10, here it is. Class 800, it's a bi-mode diesel and electric 003, and it fits in about 4.5 carriages on the platform here at Saundersfoot.
We'll be calling at Tenby, Pembroke and Pembroke Dock.
Yeah, at Tenby, loads of people are getting off. It's a beautiful day. Tenby undergoing some works at the moment. There's a temporary footbridge in whilst they've got a new permanent accessible footbridge with lifts. But I would say the majority of the people on this train are getting it here at Tenby, as it's a really popular destination. Tenby is a vibrant harbour town that is a perfect spot for holidaymakers. Popular with families with its seaside charm and multiple beaches, there's also a bustling town centre packed with cafes, ice cream shops and fish and chip restaurants. And Tenby's most historic feature is the remarkably preserved 12th century medieval stone wall that still encloses the town today. And visitors can also take a short boat trip out to the nearby Caldy Island. Tenby is also on the route of the Pembrokeshire Coastal Path, a world-renowned 186-mile-long national trail, which traces some spectacular cliffs and hidden coves in Wales. It passes through Tenby's historic harbour, and overall, the path gives walkers a perfect blend of great coastal scenery as well as welcoming seaside charm. Can you also see, my reflection in the glass there, but on the other platform heading north at Tenby, this is the crossover point. It's all single track, this branch, apart from this point here. So this is where southbound and northbound trains cross. And an interesting anomaly of that is because this IET now goes down to Pembroke Dock, sits there for about an hour before coming back. And in the meantime, the Transport for Wales service, which normally goes all the way to Pembroke Dock, the next one down, can only therefore come as far as here, Tenby, and comes in on the southbound platform, sits here for 10 minutes, and then leaves again on the southbound platform back onto the single branch. Quite often trains have to wait here for the other one to arrive to allow the pass to happen. But we're at Tenby and we are heading for Pembroke Dock. Now, doing research into the history of the services on this line, I've been trying to find out if it had always just been the Swansea to Paddington service and Paddington to Pembroke. Had it always been those trains, and also had the times of the trains been the same or changed over the years? Mark can help with this by looking back at one of his old timetables.
If you go back into history, into about the same time that this timetable was used, British Rail did run a daily train, or twice daily actually, from Milford Haven. So there was a morning Milford Haven service to Paddington and one back, and at the same time there were also HSTs running on the other route in West Wales, which was to Fishguard Harbour, when many people travelling to Ireland would travel on the boat trains. So on a summer Saturday, you actually had HSTs visiting all three of the branch lines in West Wales. You had the holiday train going to Pembroke Dock, you had the regular daily service from Milford Haven, and you had the two boat trains. They used to leave Fishguard Harbour at 01:50 and 13:47 from Fishguard back to Paddington.
Just chatting to the guard. Oh, he was so nice. He used to do it in the HST days, 8-car HST. He was saying that really did hang off the platform. We're approaching Manabia, where the front car here hangs over the front of the platform, so you have to move down to the second car, and then it sits for over an hour, so they go and have their meal break at Pembroke Dock before it then makes the afternoon trip back. We should be pulling in to Manabia. Just chatting to a lovely lady who got off, and she said that she just uses this as a local service. She lives in Manabia, goes to Tenby, comes back on the big train in the summer, small train down during the winter. It's definitely, the front car is off the platform at Manabia.
Welcome aboard this Great Western Railway service to Pembroke Dock. We'll be calling at Pembroke and Pembroke Dock.
I completely forgot to mention, by the way, on the platform at Saundersfoot when I was chatting there, that I checked the timetable there for the 5 X's for the 5 request stops. And the reason why this all started is because I was updating my request stop map a short while ago, and there was a note on my own request stop map saying about how these 5 stops on the Pembroke branch were request stops, except for the GWR Saturday service. And I've checked, I've just been chatting to the guard, and that is the case. We made it to Pembroke Dock, just chatting to a lady there. She's walking the Pembroke coastal path. Chatting on the train, I think all 5 cars, yeah, just about fit in the platform at Pembroke Dock. So this train, it sits here for just over an hour. There's a great shot, by the way, which I've just done. If you walk round the little side alley down there, through the fence, look to the fence, you get a great shot of the train with the buffers looking back down the track. Note how it used to have a second platform and a second track. Reminds me of Newquay, although now having said that, hasn't Newquay got its second track and platform now? I think they've brought back one of the tracks and platforms at Newquay. So I'm going to go grab a little sandwich or a drink or something here at Pembroke Dock. I might get a taxi out to Lamphy instead, so I get the glorious moment of this pulling in at a request stop Lamphy, and then I'll get off at either Kilgetty or Narberth, which again are request stops further up the line, just so that I can say I've done the request stops. It's just wonderful. Come and ride the Pembrokeshire line on a Saturday. Runs until, what I say? Until about mid-September. It's marvellous. Now, I spent more than one day down in Pembrokeshire because I knew that I wouldn't be able to do all 5 request stops just using the Intercity Express train. So on another day, I walked and used the regular TFW services to tick off the rest of the stations. That included going to Lamphy, a wonderfully quaint single platform request stop, which I noted from the bridge had some old HSD stopping boards still in place. I also made sure I got on a train at Manorbier, but not without taking a quick look at the nearby castle first, which is amazing. I once went to a friend's wedding there, and it's just utterly splendid. And also, I ticked off Penally too. Get out there, and you can cross the railway using the manual crossing gate through the nearby golf course and walk back down the stunning beach to Tenby. And that's how I made sure I did the other stations. And back onto the big green train. This is the 15:02 departure from Pembroke Dock that goes all the way to London Paddington. So we are on the move again. We've left Pembroke Dock at 15:02. It takes just over 5 hours 10 minutes. This will get into Paddington tonight at 8:13. This is the one that goes all the way back to Paddington, stopping at every stop along the way. The plan had been to get a bus or a taxi, but I was unable to get a Lamphy and get on this train. I wanted to get a shot of this train pulling into Lamphy, a request stop. But I'll stay on it now, and I will get out at Narberth. It's just a novelty to have this 5-car train instead of a little TFW in it. It just feels great pulling in at all these little tiny stations on this line down here. This line down here, which by the way has got a couple of open crossings which I couldn't get to, which is why Google Street View exists. Yes, because immediately outside Pembroke Station itself, and then twice between Lamphy and Manorbier, there are open crossings where the road crosses the railway. And at this point, all the trains must slow right down to 5 miles an hour on approach. You might expect this for a small 2-car train, but it would just be an unusual sight to see it on a larger 5-car Intercity Express train, or even, as it once was, an HST.
I think you may have seen them yourself. We still have the HST stop car markers at some of the smaller stations. But yeah, I mean, in the sort of, I don't know, post-steam era, there were a lot of loco-hauled holiday trains, and of course British Rail used to have loads of sets of carriages that only did this sort of thing, but it wasn't particularly efficient. So British Rail gradually sort of got rid of a lot of that and said, if we're going to run these trains, we have to use the regular intercity rolling stock. So it transitioned in the early 1980s from a loco-hauled train to a high-speed train. I was actually having a look in my 1993 timetable, and the train in that year ran as a 9:45 from Paddington, but it ran on top of the regular hourly Swansea service.
Welcome aboard this Great Western Railway service to London Paddington.
At Narberth, again, carriage number 1 is off the platform. My guard, Warren, is back there, and he was fabulous, chatting, giving me all the gossip, just having a chat. Thank you. What a magnificent sight. So Narberth Station, got chatting to a lovely local called Alan. He's like, get a picture of the tunnel. If you go down that end of the platform here curves, and just at the end of the platform, it curves around, you can see the tunnel that the train goes into. A slight confession, I've got something wrong earlier. I was all excited about, because GWR goes to Pembroke Dock on a Saturday, the Transport for Wales service reverses at Tenby. I've just looked at the timetable, which you can literally see over my shoulder here, and apparently that happens during the week anyway, about 9:30 in the morning and about 1 o'clock. There's two trains that appear to go Carmarthen, Whitland, and then fast to Tenby, and then reverse at Tenby. So it seems during the week TfW do also run like a Tenby Express. Should have called the video that, the Tenby Express, and not the Pembroke Coast Express. But talking to TfW, their train is coming in, and I'm going to go to Tenby and then end and wrap up the video there. This has just been an excellent day, and I love this routing. So ending my day at Tenby Station. I was here earlier. Actually, I've been here on another day as well, because I've been doing a bit more videoing. In fact, there's a whole members video which is linked in the corner right now if you want to go and check that out, where I ticked off some more request stops over on the Haverfordwest Milford Haver branch. I've got to wrap up quickly before I get attacked by seagulls, and enjoy a fantastic evening night out meeting some friends down in Tenby. I'm doing that, but that has been my day out on the GWR Summer Saturday Special Paddington to Pembroke Docks trains. It's fantastic. Remember, there's one in the morning which is Swansea to Pembroke Dock, back to Paddington, and then one that leaves Paddington in the morning, comes all the way down to Pembroke Dock and back again. Summer Saturdays only. It is a fantastic quirk of the summer timetable. The big train stopping at all these little small tiny request stops, and I believe I have now ticked off the 5 request stops today and 3 request stops on another day, so that's 8 more request stops ticked off my quest to tick off all the request stops. That is it. Thank you for watching. Leave your comments and thoughts below, or your own memories of holiday summer trains, or maybe travelling on these lines in South Wales as well. Beautiful South Wales, absolutely love it down here. Could ride trains down here forever and never get bored. It's fantastic. That is it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.